Today we will talk about SHX and its connections into people who are heavily involved in PayPal, which will tie into XLM and XRP and X payments, which has caught some attention in the past about X.com wanting to be a bank that have extremely interesting ties into its pursuit of regulatory compliance.
Swing. Elon Musk revealing his plans to revolutionize payments. All right, Ashley, can you explain exactly what he's doing?
He likes to use that term revolutionize, and this term revolutionize payments on his platforms this year, he says, confirming rumors basically of a plot to replace PayPal. You're talking about Bitcoin. Musk has confirmed that SpaceX owns a bunch of Bitcoin and that he still owns a lot of Bitcoin rival Dogecoin, if you remember, a cryptocurrency that Musk once said he wanted to make the currency of the earth. But now Musk has reiterated plans to compete with the likes of PayPal, Visa, even banks by offering products and services that will, quote, reshape how we connect, communicate, and transact. Musk was just granted a money transmitter license from the state of Utah last week. That is the 15th U.S. state to okay his company plans to offer payments. It's fascinating, isn't it? No matter what you say, Elon Musk is the king of disruptors, Stu.
You should read that book about him, the new one. It's an excellent book, and it details he is the disruptor in chief and a revolutionary.
That clip was from January 18th of 2024. And at that time, they had 15 money transmitter licenses in the US, which is an uptick from December of 2023 when it had 10. And right now, on May 13th of 2024, they had just added one more to bring its total up to 28. Now, why is all of that important, and how does it connect into some other things that make a lot of historical actions and patterns make a lot of sense? Well, Elon has talked about how he wants to make Twitter a more efficient financial system compared to traditional banking. And what would you need for that? On X, in order to have a monetized account, you do have to go through KYC, which can tie into digital IDs and a social credit score. And I'm not sure what the post was here, but there are some ties into Jed, McCaleb, and Stellar, who just required a platform such as X, which could be expanded into a combination of banking, social network, and digital ID, which would turn into a cross-border instant and free unbanked and banked peer-to-peer network and financial system, X and XLM. And it's also interesting that Stellar had ties into Facebook when it was creating its own stablecoin. And all of the connections back into XLM, XRP, and SHX tie back into the PayPal Mafia and where they come from and where they are now, which include people who are now involved in XRP, XLM. You have more XRP here and here. You've got ties into Velo here and SHX. And it all comes back into Elon, who has the form and companies that are being talked about right now. And SHX is particularly interesting because it is commonly explained to have kicked off in 2018. And as I have explained in the past, Action Factory Inc., which will do business in California as Stronghold, was actually created in July of 2013, and it has Tammy Camp's name all over it, which is interesting because Stellar was not officially created until July of 2014. A lot of the content that I will explain right now was actually brought to my attention from Lozion. So thank you for helping to connect a couple of dots here. And it all begins with a video that Stronghold put out at the beginning of May 2024.
In transactions. As the financial world is constantly evolving, the Payments Innovation Alliance was established by Nacha to spearhead collaboration and innovation across the payments industry. This initiative brings together a diverse range of stakeholders, including financial institutions, technology providers, and businesses, with the aim of fostering innovation and advancing the efficiency of global payments. Stronghold is a member.
Okay, so that didn't exactly appear as if it would be anything out of the ordinary, right? Well, if you check out the frame here, you can begin to speculate. So first off, we have the logo that looks a lot like Grok AI on X. And it also has an S here, which could be Stronghold, I'm not sure. And it also has one more here, but I can't tell exactly what it is. Now, when I first saw that, I thought of Interstellar, which if you come back to our XLM map here, it is shown on here as well. And it is also on the XRP and XLM connection map up here. However, it is obviously the exact same as Grok AI here on X. And that has some really interesting ties into where we could actually head with what X payments can be. Here, Alex Finn explains a bit more on that. And he talks about how X will become a bank account and has partnered with things like Shopify. You can also tip and send money to Spaces hosts. But it is about more than just that. It is not only tipping. You can pull money into X and store it in an X wallet and send that to any X payments user, which is compared to Venmo here. But for the sake of argument of the connections I'm talking about, let's just refer to it as PayPal. And after it evolves, you can gain interest, purchase products, and eventually use it to purchase products in stores comparable to Apple Pay. The end goal is if you ever have any incentive to take money out of our system, then it has failed. You shouldn't ever need to take money out because you should be able to do anything you have to on our platform, which then begins to tie into SHX. So in the Stronghold AMA, you have Tammy Camp in an XRP sweater on top of an XLM t-shirt. And I have commented a bit on that hint in the past. And a lot of people were not happy with that AMA, but the company is highly tied up in NDAs, and it's just not really practical to expect a lot of huge announcements until things are at a point in which everyone involved is able to actually talk about it. In that AMA, she also explained that there is an upcoming announcement in regards to expanding footprint outside of the US, and that something will allow them to do that. And on the concept of X.com ending up as a bank, you have Stronghold called out as the only financial business in the US which is registered at the FDIC as a direct ACH payment technology, which is important because if X.com is wanting to potentially act as a bank and a payment platform, it would have to connect into banks and a platform that could handle payments as well. Well, with all of its ties into XRP and XLM, SHX could do just that without having to create anything else.
The thing that sets Stronghold aside is the fact that they are already processing their payments. And so from that processing payments, they can take the loan interest payments from the merchant directly. And so, as I say, my thoughts on this are that Stronghold is becoming a bank. It will be a bank by 2030. Just my own personal opinion, not financial advice, but I believe that Stronghold will globally, as we'll see from that image on the right-hand side, be a global leader within banking and financial payments. And the thing that's
And there are pretty extensive ties in between SHX, X, and Elon directly. And an interesting example of that is David Sachs, who was the chief operating officer at PayPal in the past. And here is a picture of him here, which is probably from the early 2000s. I'm not too sure. He is involved in Aduro Advisors, who is heavily involved in Stronghold, which also involves Craft. And he is the co-founder and partner at Craft, which has invested in companies such as Facebook, SpaceX, and Twitter, and has direct ties into PayPal Mafia. To get into X payments, Jenner Balago is the person at X who is responsible for X payments as a compliance officer. And he hasn't posted a whole lot for some time now on X payments, which could be an indication that the hard work is actually done, and Stronghold has been chosen to act as the X payments infrastructure because of its platform that is able to connect into bank accounts and payments because of its ties into the ACH infrastructure. And with Ripple being a key investor in Stronghold, and with Stronghold Net being interoperable with the XRPL and Stellar, the ties into XRP and XLM are pretty obvious. Peter Thiel and Elon go back a long way into PayPal, which was originally called X. And then Elon created SpaceX and purchased Twitter, renaming it X. McCaleb went off to create Stellar and Vast, and then partnered with SpaceX. Coming back to the Stronghold video and the rock and interstellar imagery, when Elon changed Twitter to X, he had a sign on top of the building that seems to look a lot like the symbol for rock, except it has a resemblance to interstellar too. You can also connect Ripple into the money transmitter tie as well, because Uphold and Ripple growing amount of money transmitter licenses too. And again, with Stronghold being interoperable with the XRPL, that could be one more way that SHX is tied into X payments.